How's it going, guys? Welcome to another live stream, a late night live stream, because we have a few things to talk about, a few new news developments, and we have a few new features on the live stream today. So welcome to another live stream. As always, as we've been doing recently, let me know where you're watching from, how it's been for you. How's the weather been? It's been warm here in San Diego. I know you guys on the East Coast have been getting a lot of snow. We were talking about that in our last live stream, so stay warm out there. It's coming on the new year, guys. It's coming on the new year. Now, I will tell you this, is as we approach the new year, we just have a few weeks left. We're going to be having a big strategy live stream for all of us. For me, for you, because if you don't know, if you're a new driver, guys, New Year's weekend is coming up and it is traditionally the biggest earning weekend of the year. We had a strategy session for Halloween. I hope you did well for Halloween. Now we're going to be out there. I'm hoping for good earnings here in San Diego, wherever you're at. We're going to be doing a big strategy live stream for that. The friendly guy first, I appreciate you joining the live stream as always, guys. Hey, we're talking about some new features. Let's show you one of the new things that we're doing right now. So guys, how is the market for you right now where you're at? How's Uber and Lyft going? How's the demand? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you're on the road right now. I think it's kind of cool when some of you guys are on the road and you're watching this in between breaks or in between driving, let's say, on your break, and you're watching the live stream. So check this out. Let's see how it is here in San Diego. This is a live shot right now. Don't pay attention to the time up front on the top. That is not accurate. This is live right now, some demand trends here in San Diego. You can see south of us is a little bit of demand. Not to sound like a weather forecaster right now, guys, but you can see on the coastal areas there, we have some more demand down in this area. So the reason we're showing this to you is to get you an idea of what to expect in your market. This is what you should be doing right now. If you are not driving, you should be looking at the app, here and there, checking for demand trends, and make note of it. And I've been in San Diego for about 4 or 5 months now. And as I study more and more of these demand trends, I get familiar with what is causing these peaks in demand. You can see right here, we're getting an area of demand not too far from us, guys. That is not too far from us at all. And that is headed over towards westward towards a university area. And we can anticipate that that area is going to prime time and surge late in the night because we have students. Now, granted, also remember the time of year, right? Christmas break is coming up, so keep that in mind as well. But this is nice for you guys to see as we jump back here in the Uber app to show you guys what it's doing right now here in San Diego for reference and just for us to note there. All right, welcome back, guys. All right, we got some more people coming in from Hawaii. I think Hawaii may beat the weather here in San Diego. It just might. If there's one place that can beat San Diego right now, it might be Hawaii. Welcome. Joseph, thanks for joining. Are you compensated by Uber for your videos? I am not, but I am compensated by somebody. Any guesses, guys? Any guesses? I am compensated by somebody. It's no surprise, it's YouTube. I appreciate you guys that subscribe to the channel. Guys, we raced past 2,000 subscribers. We're doing really well right now. A lot of people on the Your Driver My team, and I thank you so much. And YouTube does allow me to get some revenue from the views on this channel. And again, I really appreciate it. It's not going to make you rich, but if you are interested in starting a YouTube channel in whatever niche, feel free to reach out to me in the contact info on my profile here. But not from Uber. No, guys, not from Uber. Joseph also says, I have a 5 times at CVG Cincinnati. 5 times. 5 times search will be fantastic. So I've been watching this a little bit tonight, And I've been doing a lot of watching because, again, not being an expert in this market yet, I'm trying to figure out, okay, when you look at this, and guys, let's show you again. When you look at this, why is it, what up here, what in this area is causing this demand, right? Where are you going to drive if you're in this area, and you can see here we just got a change, where are you going to park? And I advise that you do park so you don't drive around wasting gas. Now, here's a good example, guys. You can see this surge area up here, Escondido. We know that it's not smart to drive, although I hope you're not driving all the way up there because you see that surge. It is absolutely going to be gone by the time you get there. So that's what we're doing tonight. That's what I'm doing a little bit on my end, is studying those demand trends. And I do have both apps open. I've had it open for at least over an hour, just jostling back and forth. And that's part of the studying, right? Is target the areas where those demand trends are going to come in and then go micro on it, right? You're looking at the macro, then go to the micro and figure out where exactly is that demand coming from. Okay, it's the university. Where within the university? I challenge you to go even more micro than that, right? Where within the university? And then once you know within the university, strategically find places where you can legally park. Because if you don't legally park, I don't want to be sweating bullets, looking over my shoulder, getting a ticket, who knows, right? All right, let's jump back in with you guys. Midnight Rider John from Indiana, PA says hello out in the 22-degree weather, the heat wave in Western PA. Guys, I hear you on the East Coast. 22 degrees. John, I'm checking right now for you. It's 57 right now here in San Diego. So I hope you guys are doing well, whatever market you're in. Joseph says CVG is Cincinnati International Airport. 5 times to the airport. That's really good. Stephen, thanks for joining. 2.2 in Chula Vista. Hey, that's kind of right by me, isn't it? It has been up. Yes, it is. There it is, southwest of me, here in La Mesa, California. Yeah, I've been watching this all night, guys, and I've seen a 4.1 tonight. I've seen a 3.8. And again, these are areas where I don't know exactly why it's getting that kind of demand. Now, if I'm, again, within 5 to maybe 7 minutes, I would go drive into that area because it doesn't really matter. I at least want to give myself a chance at getting that surge. But from home to somewhere 15 minutes away, 18 minutes away, I don't have the confidence. It doesn't really make sense to go chase that, as I'm sure you guys know. Steven says gas lamp quarter. Yes, downtown. Guys, the gas lamp quarter here in San Diego is kind of one of the big bar areas. We can relate that to the south side of Pittsburgh. So what are we talking about today, guys? Let's just jump into it, right? What are we talking about today? Well, a few news things that I wanted to talk about with you. And again, as always, feel free to post any questions that you have, because we always talk about a few newsworthy articles or what have you, and then our conversation goes who knows where, which is completely fine. Feel free. So, as we jump into OBS, as you may have seen, the head of driver product has left Uber. And we've quoted this gentleman before. As you can see, Aaron Schlitkraut joined Uber in 2015. Why does this matter? Okay, why does this matter? Well, Aaron was, again, the head of this program which created Uber's 180 Days of Change. So what does that mean for us? Well, if Aaron is leaving the company, and there is another team member, Rachel Holt, actually you can see right here, Rachel Holt, the regional general manager of the US and Canada. Rachel is still with Uber, but Aaron has stepped down. And he does cite good reason. But what this does for us is the more and more you may have a revolving door with Uber, the more and more staff that leave, the more staff that come in, you're getting a lot of kind of new ideas, maybe yes, but you want the congruency, the longevity, kind of the tenured thinking of a coalesced team versus, new faces that kind of have to get assimilated with everyone else. And once they get up to speed, they leave. And you can see you're kind of chasing your own tail. Maybe that's at least one side of that. One way we can think about it. So in some aspects, it is kind of disappointing to see Aaron leave. Again, really the head of Uber's 180 days of change. But he does cite family. And he cites leaving Uber after 3 years because of family, that he wants to spend more time with his family and being nonstop, basically, as he said, being basically nonstop with Uber. He didn't really see the value in what it was really doing with the balance of family and work. So now we won't really go into all this. This is an article from Recode, but you can see here he announces his resignation with the Uber team via email. So does this really matter? Let's go even more macro. Does the 180 Days of Change campaign matter? Does it really matter? Could some of the big improvements made in the 180 Days of Change simply be made as part of an email, right? Or an app update? Hey, here's a new improvement we did for drivers. Now you have tipping. Instead of making it a 6-month program, which I argue has definitely some good benefits, but it still didn't have rate increases. So let me know your thoughts. Is this a big deal? Is Aaron leaving Uber a big deal? Getting yet another new face in the company? And then again, more macro, was the 180 Days of Change a big deal? Does that program even matter? Or could have just been done in an app update? Let me know. Let's check in with you. Let's close our OBS. Jump back in with you. Thanks for joining, guys. Your driver Mike here. I do appreciate you watching this live stream. If you could, real quick, if you could leave a like on the live stream, shows me that you get value from the videos on this channel, gets more people in here, more people on your driver Mike team, and of course, we can't forget, it does boost us in YouTube's almighty algorithm. We have to appease YouTube's mighty algorithm. If you could please leave a like on the live stream. So let's check in with you guys. What are your feelings on the net neutrality, Joseph? Now, I've been trying to, and take a look at this, guys, by the way. Take a look at what Lyft is doing right now. Nothing really locally, but a decent amount going on throughout the area. With Lyft, it's kind of spotty, which I don't really love when you're driving on the Lyft platform. Versus Uber, you're more guaranteed, right? As long as you're in the surge zone and you get something, then you can at least get that. Joseph, I appreciate it. Joseph dropping the $1 super chat while I had the other screen. That's the funniest thing. When I have a screen pulled up and then we come back to you guys and there's a super chat in there, I think that's the funniest thing. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Joseph. Yes, to get back to your point, that's awesome. Thank you so much again. The net neutrality, that I really am not up to speed as I know I should be. I've read a little bit about it. I've talked to some coworkers and whatnot about it. So from my understanding, it's going to greatly restrict access the way it is now, insofar as you're paying your monthly whatever, to your internet service provider, and there you go. There's the internet, right? Go access the internet. And I believe with the new changes, your ISP, your internet service provider, is going to be able to say, okay, great. Here's a price tier for the internet. And if you want these sites as well, here's a little more. Or if you want this package, which has access to this, you're going to have to pay supplement for this. Of course, do not go to me as a resource for net neutrality, but from my understanding, there's going to be restrictions of what you can access, what your payment gets access to, and there's, again, a lot of nuances in there, I'm sure, with how that works. I just want to cut and dry. I want to cut and dry the way it is now. I pay my ISP, and I get the internet, right? I don't want to have to say, okay, well, you're visiting Facebook for over X amount of hours a week. Now you have to pay more, or in order to, I know the Wall Street Journal, for instance, the Wall Street Journal makes you pay to read their articles. And I feel like that's what net neutrality would be. If this change were to happen, is you go to access your favorite, you go to CNET, right? You want to read some tech articles. And then they say, to join CNET, please pay, $5 a month or whatever it is. I don't know. Again, that's my very, very high level understanding of net neutrality. But yeah, the simpler the better. The better. There we go. There's the first word messed up, guys. If you're new to the live streams, it seems like I always mess up 3 words a live stream. But yeah, I mean, the easier the better. I mean, cut and dry. No one likes being nickeled and dimed or fine print. Yeah, that's very high level though. Absolute MMA 101. I will be an Uber Eats driver by next week. Smiley face. What market are you in, Absolute MMA? If you guys are in California or any markets that have access to Uber, I'm sorry, not Uber Eats, Amazon Flex. As you know, I've liked Amazon Flex so far, so definitely check out that as well if you're doing Uber Eats and if it's available in your market, Absolute MMA. Joseph says, thank you for the insight. Thank you for teaching me over the last few months to be a successful Uber driver. And that's why, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Joseph. And it's because of things like this. Is the studying, right? I say, you're going to take a test. You're a student. You're going to take a test. If you don't study, you're probably going to fail. If it's a multiple choice and you're guessing on the multiple choice, you may do okay. You may get this C from sheer luck. But if you're taking a test, you want to be a student, you want to study, so you get an A. And here's what we're studying, guys. And again, we're looking at Lyft right now live. This is live from San Diego. What does this pocket mean here, right? What does this pocket mean here? This is the actual campus of San Diego State University. Okay? Why is this area at 20%? If you can't answer that question, then you probably can't answer the question of where should I be in this area? Okay? Now, you see a 20% guarantee right here. These are the questions you have to ask yourself. You see a 20% guarantee here. Should I go for this area? Why or why not? If you're an expert in your market, you'll know. This is downtown, as you can see. This is downtown. And as you can see here, again, these streets, this is your traditional grid-like street. These are congested. The street parking is almost non-existent here. Very, very congested. Now, also, again, like we mentioned earlier, this gas lamp quarter, very popular area for restaurants and bars. A lot of clubs in this area. So if you know where that club is, if you know where you can sit, if you can find a spot on street parking and wait there, then sure, maybe you want to go in this area. If you don't know the area and you're sitting all the way up here, now, I'm not even familiar with this area up here, but I do know that Little Italy has some restaurants, housing. So these two areas are big in nightlife. But again, if I don't know, if I'm just sitting up here, I may not get as much profit and rides than if I was sitting somewhere down in this area. So I may only get one ride on that 20% guarantee versus maybe being able to circle back a few times and get a couple rides on that guarantee. That's just one example though, guys. All right, catching up with you guys again. So let's jump back into what we're talking about today. We mentioned Aaron Schlitkraut, the head of driver product, has left Uber after 3 years. What does that mean? Well, he was the head of Uber's 180 Days of Change. Additionally, what we're talking about right now, as we jump right back into OBS. And this is just a highlight for you guys. This is the current 180 days of change. This was what we talked about last time. What Uber wants to do going forward in 2018. And you can look up this yourself. If you search Uber 180 days of change, you'll find this website and plenty more about the program if you want to read up more on that. But this is, we've talked about this, and it's funny because we have talked about this before on the channel. And I don't know if I should, acknowledge that we saw this trend months ago, and this is just now being reported. Now, I have seen reports on this in the past. Well, let's say that it has been reported on before. But here's some more statistics that are kind of interesting when thinking about Uber. When Uber comes to town, fewer people take ambulance rides. A new study found that a 7% drop in ambulance usage in nearly 800 cities after UberX entered the market. The study suggests UberX and other ride-hailing services can decrease unnecessary ambulance usage, which can lower ambulance wait times. And of course, ride-hailing services cost significantly less than an ambulance. Excuse me. So, we've talked about this before. This is the resurgence, no pun intended, the resurgence of what I call Uber ambulance. And guys, if you have not seen that video, I will try to link it above, but let me tell you the funny story about Uber ambulance. And I'll scroll this down here if anyone wants to zoom in and read this. But I've had 2 of these rides. I've had 2 rides where a passenger would get into the car and our destination was the ER. The first passenger got into my vehicle holding his shoulder, and I'm going to show you guys the trends map here just so you can watch this as well. Holding his shoulder, and I ask him if his shoulder's okay, and he says, I have a dislocated shoulder. I need to go to the ER. I say, oh, wow, yeah, okay, we can go. It was about a 5 to 8 minute ride down the road. And he says, yeah, I've had this for a few weeks now. A few weeks. I said, you've had that for a few weeks? He said, yes, I'm a bartender, and I couldn't lose out on the money, so I had to work with my shoulder like this. I said, can you even move your arm? He said, I can move it a little bit, but it definitely hurts a lot. But again, I needed the hours and I needed the income. So we took him to the ER, and that was quite a ride and quite a story. My second of which being a woman got into my car rather, with her husband. And she is in noticeable stomach pain. And I see their destination is the ER. And the husband tells me that she is passing kidney stones. And that's why she needs to go to the ER. And he was kind of poking fun at her. And I believe this may have happened to her before, but she was in quite a lot of pain. But she was in a good enough attitude about it. And those were my 2 Uber ambulance stories, which were quite the story. And that's why I wanted to bring this up to you again. So, quick question to you. A lot of questions, actually. Is it okay for passengers to take Ubers to the ER? Would you take a passenger if your destination was the ER? And have you had any of these rides where it has gone to the ER? Let me know in the live chat. Guys, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, let me know as well in the comments section. Have you been in Uber ambulance? In fact, If you've been an Uber ambulance, post hashtag Uber ambulance in the live chat or in the comments section. Let's see, guys. What are you thinking? So guys, yes, that is a story about Uber ambulance, and I'm wondering if anyone else has had a similar ride. Now, those rides were well enough. Those rides were fine, but let's talk about more serious rides, okay? And I posed this question in the initial Uber ambulance video. So again, lighthearted situations aside, would you take somebody that had a visible, noticeable medical condition? Okay, if there was some kind of an accident, right? Let's say any kind of cuts, accidents, broken arms, what have you, or even worse, someone that thinks they're having a heart attack, right? Or a woman going into labor. Let me ask you about that. Would you take a passenger that has their destination as the ER? Guys, you're seeing live chats right now of San Diego to give you a heads up of what it's doing here in my market. I want to know what it's doing in your market. Let me know. Let me know if you're out there, if it's been surging or prime time during this weekend, and how San Diego looks to your market. I'm really interested as we try to wrangle in our Lyft app. There we go. So quite an interesting story that I always find very unique when it comes up is talking about the prevalence of Uber going to the ER. So please let me know in the live chat or in the comments section as well. One more thing I wanted to bring to your attention, guys. And this one is quite interesting. Now, Uber is no stranger to drama. They are no stranger to lawsuits. So this was reported recently. Just this week, Uber accused of espionage, hacking, and bribery in a bombshell letter. So what is this talking about? Well, you can see here the first section really summarizes it for us. Uber spied on and bribed foreign officials, infiltrated private chat groups, stole trade secrets, and abused secret messaging apps and attorney-client privilege to obstruct government investigations, according to a former employee. This it's too much almost. This was too much the first time that I read it almost. Spying, bribing, infiltrating private chat groups. What that means is Uber is accused of infiltrating specific driver groups regarding competition and getting into private chat groups. Of course, stealing trade secrets, what does that refer to? If you remember, if you've been following the Waymo autonomous vehicle lawsuit, Uber is being accused from Waymo, a subsidiary at the time of Google, Alphabet, of stealing trade secrets when a former employee of Waymo came over to Uber and with him brought allegedly stolen documents, trade secrets. Abused secret messaging apps. Uber is accused of using messaging apps, much like Snapchat, while this article did not detail which ones, where messages would disappear. Again, a la Snapchat. And also abusing the client attorney privilege, basically meaning that discussions, facts cannot be disclosed because of attorney-client privilege, and being accused of leveraging that too much, inappropriately, And this is all coming from a former employee. So this was just reported here from CNN Tech also this week. This one from today, guys, just really hours ago. Just hours ago. So as Uber moves into 2018, how are they going to negotiate driver lawsuits, Waymo lawsuits, internal investigations and lawsuits? We can see right here, if you're following on the screen, Uber testified. The company paid Jacobs, who we're talking about here, Uber's lawyer, paid Jacobs a settlement of $4.5 million to not reveal his accusations publicly. And we can see up here, I wanted to clarify for you, former Uber security analyst Richard Jacobs. Okay. And again, following down here, Uber testified the company paid Jacobs $4.5 million to not reveal these accusations publicly. Now, you'll also remember that Uber was accused of paying hackers $100,000 to not disclose data hacks. We can see here Uber being accused of paying $4.5 million. Now, I have liked Uber's tech and their system and their innovation for a while. I'm going to jump back here with you guys. There's a lot that they've done, in allowing drivers to earn on their own time, and the earnings at times have been pretty good. But Uber as a company has been hurting, and it's getting harder and harder. Well, it's already hard to be a fan of Uber when things like this are happening. It's too disparaging. There's so much negativity and destructive trends that are happening here to really be a fan of Uber. And this is compiling, it seems, and it's getting harder and harder to ignore. Okay, it's getting harder and harder to ignore whenever someone is talking about Uber to see them as a good company. It's getting harder and harder to see Uber as a good company. Okay, and that can be completely encompassing, guys. That can be ethically, financially, okay, investing wise, when considering investing opportunities in the future, business strategy, almost everything, okay? And I want to like them as a company, and the tech is somewhat there in them leading the rideshare industry, but hey, we have Lyft, okay? We have Lyft. Lyft's persona has been so much more positive. Now, I think Lyft's Achilles heel has been innovation. Okay, I want to see more things first from Lyft. I need the Lyft team to bring new ideas first. The only updates that we seem to get from Lyft are, hey, we've added these new features, and those are, of course, just mirrored of past features from Uber, and they're just catching up, right? Now, Lyft, the only thing that Lyft seems to be first on is philanthropic and charity initiatives, which is great, which is fine. Tip matching for charities or appreciation rides, rounding up to the next dollar for charities. And that seems to be, but again, a safe initiative, right? And that's a safe PR initiative that obviously does some very good work, which is great. But system improvements, right? System improvements, operations improvements, improvements for the drivers, features. What's really first? What really is first on the Lyft platform? I don't know if it's too much, or if there is improvements, I'm sure there are, that it should jump out to us. We should be able to think about many more improvements, and they should jump out to us when thinking about this, and they're not, because there's frankly not enough. So Lyft is playing it safe. Uber has been playing it completely like the Wild West. It's pretty much night and day with these two companies. And I would hope that Lyft can really rev it up a little bit to really overtake some of that market share, or Uber in Dara Khosrowshahi's leadership really have to scrub the whole thing clean, and maybe they are. We'll see. They have to scrub that whole thing clean. Kenneth Cooper, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Asks, oh my God, what happened? Well, the head of driver product, the leader really of Uber's 180 days of change, Aaron Schlitkraut, has stepped down, citing family, attention to family and career, right? And the imbalance of the two. We were talking about Uber ambulance. Guys, let me know if you would take a passenger to the ER, if you've had those rides, and I shared a few stories about 2 of my rides, guys, to the ER. So that's what's going on. Joseph says, geez, I gave a measly $1. Can't anyone else tip Mike for his advice? Well, that $1 is appreciated. Thank you for that. That's a great line. Geez, I gave a measly $1. Can anyone else tip Mike for his advice? That's funny. And what Joseph's referring to right here is this super chat. In super chats are ways to tip your YouTube creator, and that's me. that's what this is, a super chat. And super chats are highly appreciated, but not mandatory. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Let's jump back in, guys, to show you this. Check it out. So we're seeing some activity, and this is live right now, 10:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in San Diego, California. Let's check this out up here. So here's what I'll do, guys. This is how I do my research. When zooming in, okay, and let's zoom back out. Okay, zoom back in, kind of estimate how far this is from you, and continue to zoom in right on the center of this area. Okay, we see 2.6. I scroll around. I try to find if there's any other higher areas. And it looks like its highest is 2.6. I try to find out where is this coming from possibly. And you can see right here, BSN Brewery and Distillery. Now, is that really customer focused or is that a business for distribution? I don't know. And you can see here it just shifted, and Uber kind of gave us a bigger hint of where it truly was coming from. Again, possibly. And we can scroll in here, and it's not going to tell you much, right? It doesn't tell you a lot of landmarks the way Google Maps will. So what I'll do at times is I'll go into Google Maps, and I will type in an intersection, right? We can see here Cottonwood Avenue, and it won't tell me that road. That's okay. But you get the point. Find an intersection. There's Riverview, okay? Riverview Parkway and North Magnolia. And pull that up on your Google Maps and then scroll around. So you can see what, if any, landmarks, bars, restaurants are around here. And if not, why isn't surge around here? Could be a house party, right? Now, you can see the scope of this demand area. I'm not sure what constitutes how far this will go, right? As far as if there's an event, how far will this extend in Uber's algorithm versus, only being in this area? Why would it extend all the way out here? We've never gotten any info about that, but you get the point. When researching, here's another on fire area, guys. Look at this. Up in this area, completely on fire, 3.1. So again, let's scroll around. And I'm seeing 3.1 is the highest. And again, I don't know this area. Look at it, just increased, 3.2. And again, I'm seeing 3.2 is the highest area. So it looks like you can see some roads here. What is here? What is around this area that's causing this surge? So that's what you want to do in your research, okay? Again, follow these areas. Like for instance, I know that down in this area, this is Ocean Beach, as you can see right here. Right here, this is Ocean Beach. I know there's a lot of boardwalks, clubs, restaurants in this area. I'm starting to track the area. I'm figuring out that there is a boardwalk. You can see here a pier. Maybe not a boardwalk, I'm sorry, but there's a pier with some bars up in this area, okay? There is a boardwalk up in this area, Mission Beach. So you want to map that out. So each area that you see here, take note. Where is it? What in the area could cause surge? Is it a common place for surge? Is it common to see surge here, or is it not? Because if it's not, it may be just a one-off thing, okay? It may be just a one-off thing that you can't guarantee. Let's catch up with you guys. Kenneth says, not good. There's been some changes at Uber, and Kenneth is referring to the departure of, again, Aaron Schlitkraut, the head of driver product. So yes, guys, a lot going on. You know, a few things with Aaron leaving. We talked about Uber ambulance briefly, and quite an interesting thing. Please do let me know in the comments your thoughts about that. And we talked about Uber spying a little bit, perhaps, allegedly, and really even more than a little bit. These are big claims that we saw here, guys. So I want to put it back to you and ask you if there's any other questions, anything else you want to talk about. Please do post that in the live chat, or if you're watching in the rebroadcast, post your questions below, because we do get back to most every single comment. And if you could, guys, if you could leave a quick like, a real quick like on the live stream, if you appreciate the videos on the channel. Of course, you know, guys, it gets more people in here, more people on the team. And lastly, it does boost us in YouTube's almighty algorithm for the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. Any other final questions? Any other final questions for you guys? Do let me know, as we give you one more shot live from San Diego. And I hope your weekend is going well so far, guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. Follow across socials. We are new on Facebook. We're on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure to follow at Your Driver Mike, because this coming week, we're going to be hitting the road a lot more. We have some more free time this week, as we have some time, a little bit of break because of the holidays. And regarding the holidays, we're going to have quite a bit of time here in the next couple of weeks. So look for a lot of content, live streams at new locations, and more time on the road next week. And I'll let you guys know first here on the live stream, we're going to be doing that big New Year's Eve strategy session live stream. So guys, we're going to be doing that, if not late next week, if not the following week, around Christmas time. We got some flights home, and a little bit going on, as you can imagine, with the holiday season. But look for that. That's going to be a big, solely devoted to New Year's Eve live stream strategy session, maximizing profit brainstorming session, guys. So be on the lookout for that, and hit the bell notification if you haven't done so already. That will give you a heads up whenever I go live. So guys, as always, I do appreciate you watching, guys. Thanks for being here. On your way out, if you can leave a like on the live stream, I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.